Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers interfering, excessive force, and vehicle searches, and is brought to us by Rhonda Jones's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On August 30th, 2018, at about 5 a.m., plainclothes officer Carl Carawalla of the San Antonio Police Department was patrolling in San Antonio, Texas, when he observed a box truck parked on private property behind a strip mall with its driver's side door open. Sleeping inside was 50-year-old pastor and delivery driver Jose Castro, who was taking a nap in his vehicle while on a break. Suspecting that the truck may have been involved in a potential burglary, as the use of a box truck fit the MO of other commercial burglaries in the area, Officer Carawalla called for backup, and uniformed officers Michael Thornton and Kimberly Corey arrived in police cruisers, and were later joined by Officer Sean King. The interaction that followed was captured on Officer Thornton's body camera.
You want to ghost call it, Carl? Yeah. You in the truck! Come in with your hands up, San Antonio Police! Contact! Come in with your hands up, San Antonio Police! Let me see some hands! I'm the police! Come out! La policía, ven aquí! Manos arriba, ahí está! Oh, come on, don't do that. Ven aquí, ahí está, police! I can't, come on. ¿Por qué no? You been a kill, I'm coming to get your. Hey, listen, you wrong, bro. You wrong. Come here. You wrong. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm doing delivery for vision veterinary. You crazy. San Antonio Police, you understand that I am the police, right? Yes, sir. Then you need to come out that truck right now, sir. The real police, come out the truck! Watch yourself, watch yourself! Come out of that truck! Watch out, Kim! Turn the car on. Get us Eagle, get us Eagle. San Antonio Police, come out of the truck! Is he going out the other side? This is the San Antonio Police. You need to exit the vehicle. Get out of the truck. What do you got, Carl? Talk to me. You need to exit the vehicle, sir! Sir, you're about 30 seconds away from a trip to the hospital and going to jail.
Okay, he's on the phone right now, and he's disregarding everything we're saying. I don't know who he's talking to.
Sir, get out of that car now! Or I'm going to shoot those tires. We are the police!
Sir, I think he's saying that he needs to send police. He's not believing us, even though we've got some marked units out here in full uniform.
Well, you need to send the police right now. I am the police! Exit the vehicle! Well, you need to tell them because they got the gun and shooting me. Why are they shooting me? We ain't shot at you, sir! Exit the vehicle! Wow, because I have a police people here. Okay. Exit the vehicle with your hands up!
Where you at, Kim?
Get out of the car! Be quiet. Get out of the car! You don't get out of that car!
Get over here, 8002 North, 1604 off Cosmic.
Okay, he's refusing to do anything for us. Don't do that. You need to exit the vehicle! Get out of the car! I call the police right now. We are the police! No, you are not the police. You don't see the red and blue lights behind you? You are not the police because you're wrong. How am I wrong?
Stating that he does not believe the officers are actually police, Mr. Castro repeatedly refuses to exit the vehicle, instead calling 911 and turning on his truck's emergency flashing lights so that dispatched officers could find and assist him. According to Section 38.15 of the Texas Penal Code, which codifies the offense of interference with public duties, quote, "A person commits an offense if the person, with criminal negligence, interrupts, disrupts, impedes, or otherwise interferes with a peace officer while the peace officer is performing a duty or exercising authority imposed or granted by law." As the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which has jurisdiction over Texas, explained in the 2017 case of Childers v. Iglesias, Texas courts have found that an individual's failure to comply with an officer's instructions can constitute interference and give an officer probable cause to arrest under this statute. However, the interference statute does require that the individual act with quote-unquote criminal negligence in order to be convicted. As Section 6.03 of the Texas Penal Code states, quote, "A person acts with criminal negligence when he ought to be aware of a substantial and unjustifiable risk. The risk must be of such a nature and degree that the failure to perceive it constitutes a gross deviation from the standard of care that an ordinary person would exercise under all the circumstances as viewed from the actor's standpoint." If Mr. Castro were charged with interference for his refusal to exit the vehicle, he could argue that he was not criminally negligent in doing so, given his belief that the officers were not the real police. Nonetheless, while Mr. Castro could potentially defend himself with this argument, probable cause is a much lower standard than the proof beyond a reasonable doubt that is required to sustain a criminal conviction, and it is likely that the court would find that the officers had probable cause to arrest Mr. Castro for failing to exit the vehicle when ordered to do so, as long as the court also concluded that the officers had reasonable suspicion to detain Mr. Castro and require him to step out of the truck.
Eagle, we're going to be south of 1604. We're in a big open field. We do have the red and blues activated on the patrol car. This guy's got the driver door open. Dispatch, send me a K9. Send me a K9. Expedite.
He says he's on some delivery right now. I don't know who he's talking to.
10-4.
He's saying we're not the police.
That's all right. The K9's on the way. You're going to get bit if you don't come out of that truck. The K9 is going to bite you if you do not exit the vehicle. I got nothing. I got no view on him.
That's all right, Mike. I got a red dot right on his forehead. I don't know. They line me for nothing. I have a truck. You can stop over here. Sir, get out of the car. Oh, you don't like me, sir. You're wrong. Sir, I will take a record.
And roll us a Spanish speaker. He's speaking English, but maybe he'll understand some Spanish. Stop reaching for sir! Stop it! You got a whole lot of police rolling down on you. You need to exit the vehicle.
10-4.
Exit the vehicle, sir! I don't care what you think. I need you to exit the vehicle. He's turned the truck on. He's not coming out. I think he called 911.
Señor, manos, ahora.
I tried that.
Manos, ahora. What's he doing, Carl? Still on the phone. Right hand is clear. Left hand is on the phone. Got him, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, muzzle down. Get out of the truck. Get out of the truck. 1 second. Get out.
You're gonna get tased! You're gonna get tased! Get out of the truck!
What I did it.
Get out of the truck!
Pero what I did it. Dime. No me golpea así, hombre. No, pero what I did it. What I did it.
Truck's out! Truck's out!
Don't come in. Don't come in. Don't come in. Don't come in.
Get out of the
Don't
truck!
come in.
Get out! You can see we're the police, right?
Pero why you doing do that?
Because we want to talk to you!
What can you talk to me?
You shake!
No, do it now.
Quick, grab it for me. Put your hands behind your back.
Okay.
Stop!
Okay. What wrong?
You don't raise your
What's wrong?
hand up to me like you're gonna hit me.
No, but what wrong?
Dump him! To the ground! On the ground! Give me that hand right now!
No, but
You're going to the hospital if you don't give me that hand!
Ay, pero no tiene nada, tipo. No, listen.
You listen!
But I did it. No, did nothing.
Coming around. Fingers.
Locked.
Alright,
I did nothing. Nothing did.
521,
How many times did we ask you to get out the
I'm
truck?
Polo Jackson, so but I hate.
Too late for that. You're going to jail.
Although the body camera footage does not clearly show Mr. Castro's removal from the vehicle, as summarized in the decision on the case issued by the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, Officer Carawala approached the truck from the passenger door and pointed his AR-15 at Mr. Castro's forehead, while Officer King and Officer Thornton approached the driver's side of the vehicle and attempted to remove Mr. Castro. Mr. Castro pulled away from the officers and flailed his arms to avoid being removed from the truck. Officer King then struck Mr. Castro in the head and leg and pointed his firearm at Mr. Castro's head, which caused Mr. Castro to exit the vehicle. Once Mr. Castro was out of the truck, Officer King struck his left arm twice. Officer Thornton executed a leg sweep, and the three officers took Mr. Castro to the ground to handcuff him. While Officer Carawala handcuffed Mr. Castro, Officer King and Officer Thornton applied pain compliance techniques to Mr. Castro's back, neck, wrists, arms, knees, and shoulders. As we have discussed many times before here on ATA, the Supreme Court outlined 3 factors for determining whether or not an officer's use of force is quote-unquote excessive in violation of the Fourth Amendment in the 1989 case of Graham versus Connor. These 3 factors include, now quoting, the severity of the crime at issue, whether the suspect poses an immediate threat to the safety of the officers or others, and whether he is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade arrest by flight. Under Fifth Circuit precedent, as the Court of Appeals explained in the 2021 case of Harmon versus City of Arlington, quote, the threat of harm factor typically predominates the analysis when deadly force has been deployed, and courts must consider whether officers could reasonably perceive that a suspect posed a threat of serious physical harm. Given the fact that Mr. Castro was simply refusing to comply with instructions and did not reasonably seem to pose any danger to the officers, it is probable that a court would conclude that at least the pointing of a firearm at Mr. Castro's head was constitutionally excessive force. Likewise, under the San Antonio PD's use of force policy, officers may only use deadly force, such as a firearm, to prevent imminent serious bodily injury or death, and officers are prohibited from displaying or brandishing a weapon as a threat, quote, unless its potential use in the situation would be reasonable, or if the circumstances clearly call for the use of a weapon to control a dangerous situation. Accordingly, it is also likely that Officer Carawala and Officer King's use of firearms in this situation violated San Antonio PD policy.
Check him for weapons. Turn him over.
No, I told you. Hey, so listen.
Turn him over.
No, I don't have nothing, sir.
10-4, all units now, slow down, code 1.
I don't have nothing, sir. Say, hey,
Sit up.
I doing delivery.
No, you're doing a jail run now.
No. No, I can't do it. Nothing. You scare me. That's why. I promise. I do nothing. Yeah?
What type of delivery?
Animal supply, so I got delivery right now.
And when we asked you to step out of the car and identified ourselves as law enforcement, you didn't come out.
Oh, somebody lied me and somebody shooting.
Nobody shot. There was not one gunshot fired out here, guy.
I saw somebody with the gun. I can't. I promise. I'm not doing
I promise you're going to jail.
No, I can't.
Stand up.
Apollo Jackson. Listen, promise. I do the right. I don't understand. I do the most work. No, I'm working right now. I stopped just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. No, hombre.
No, hombre. When the police tell you to do something, you do it. Man, what part of that don't you understand? Yeah.
Oh, listen. Listen, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. No, I'm not doing nothing. I promise. I don't have nothing. You need it. I'm so sorry for. Maybe I gotta sleep in this fight. Just only 5 minutes sleeping. I'm Polo Jackson. I don't do nothing. Why?
Too late for all that, guy.
No, sir. Listen. I saw people shooting with me. You made me nervous.
Who shot it?
I saw gun in my face. I'm Polo Jackson. I don't understand why you do that.
Because you didn't listen to our directions. Have a seat. You didn't follow simple directions.
Please.
Please sit down.
No, I don't
Put your feet
understand.
in.
I don't understand.
You understand.
No.
You drive a CDL? Do you have a CDL?
Yeah.
Then you speak English. Put your feet in the car. You're not helping your situation. And then you're going to lie and say you don't speak English when I've been talking to you in English all night.
Listen, I apologize.
You listen.
Here's Licencia.
Muting for personal conversation.
Yeah, I already muted mine. Dude,
After placing a handcuffed Mr. Castro in the back seat of the police cruiser, Officer Thornton mutes his body camera for quote-unquote personal conversation and leaves it muted for about 8 minutes while the officers engage in discussion among themselves and search the back and front of Mr. Castro's truck. According to the San Antonio PD's body-worn camera policy, quote, officers shall record all events surrounding the contact, stop, detention, interview, and arrest of suspected violators and maintain this recorded evidence for consideration in criminal prosecution. However, the policy does allow officers to mute their cameras, quote-unquote, momentarily for conversations that involve police and case tactics or strategy. Therefore, although it is questionable whether an 8-minute muting would be considered momentary, it is certainly possible that Officer Thornton's use of his body camera's mute feature would be considered within policy. As for the officers' search of Mr. Castro's vehicle, on the other hand, it is likely that a court would conclude that the warrantless search violated the Fourth Amendment. While officers may sometimes search a vehicle incident to a recent occupant's arrest, as the Supreme Court held in the 2009 case of Arizona versus Gant, such searches are only appropriate, now quoting, when the arrestee is unsecured and within reaching distance of the passenger compartment at the time of the search, and are limited to, now quoting again, the space within an arrestee's immediate control, meaning the area from within which he might gain possession of a weapon or destructible evidence. Because Mr. Castro was handcuffed in the police cruiser at the time of the search, this exception to the warrant requirement would clearly not apply. The Fourth Amendment also allows warrantless so-called inventory searches of vehicles that are impounded when its driver is arrested. However, as the Supreme Court explained in the 1990 case of Florida versus Wells, quote, an inventory search must not be a ruse for a general rummaging in order to discover incriminating evidence. The individual police officer must not be allowed so much latitude that inventory searches are turned into a purposeful and general means of discovering evidence of crime. In this situation, Mr. Castro's vehicle was not impounded, and the officers did not create an inventory log of the items inside it. Additionally, officers later searched the back of the truck with a canine, which suggests that the officers were searching for incriminating evidence rather than documenting the contents of the vehicle for security purposes. Accordingly, it is highly likely that a court would conclude that the search of the truck violated the Fourth Amendment.
Task force, right? Looking for safe burglars. They're hitting between certain times up in the Prue area, right? We're working with plainclothes detectives, checking suspicious cars, people parked out across the street, lookouts, etc. One of our detectives comes across a box truck, like a rental box truck from Enterprise, one of the big ones, parked out behind some bushes off on a little private drive that goes to nothing off of the main road, right? He pulls in, sees that the driver door is open. Okay, doesn't approach, calls for us because we're in uniform, we're in a marked patrol car. We roll up, we start walking up, and I say, hey, you know what? Let's see if somebody's in there. Let's call out. Maybe somebody's in there, they'll come out so we don't, get ambushed. So, holler out, hey, you in the vehicle, show me your hands, come out. Somebody answers up. So now we know there's for sure somebody in the truck, right? Spanish, English. So I order him out in Spanish. He keeps yelling, no, 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 I'm not doing anything, no, no, no. Then he starts saying that we're not the police, right? So I go back to the patrol car, activate all the red and blue lights I have on my police car, get on the PA system. San Antonio Police, you need to come out of the car. The detective has gone around the side of the truck, clearly visible to the AP. Shows him his badge, vest, police on his vest, okay? Another officer gets here. Oh, he's making a phone call. He's calling 911. 911 is telling him, those are the police. You need to get out of the truck. Still not getting out of the truck. We get another officer here. We go to approach the truck. At this point, and he's poked his head out a few times and made eye contact with me. He knew I was the police. I have no doubt in my mind. He knows I'm the police. Tell him, hey, get out of the truck. He says, no, 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 no. He's not getting out of the truck. Immediately, we grab onto him. He starts and at one point when we were ordering him out of the truck, he turns the vehicle on like he's going to drive away. So we all pull way back because we don't want to get ran over by this big truck. I get the truck turned off. We get him out. He's still not putting his hands behind his back, still not complying with orders. So eventually we end up taking him to the ground and getting him handcuffed. Now, he says that he's here doing deliveries from Dallas. He has a CDL, commercial driver's license, so he knows what to do when he's stopped by the police, okay? But we don't have anything besides the resisting search on him. Would you take that? We're being told that you wouldn't take just a straight resisting search without an actual charge. Okay, that's fine with me. I mean, I really don't feel like taking this guy to jail. He's just an idiot, and I think he knew we were the police, but he still didn't want to cooperate with us. So I think we'll just SP him, and then we'll just kick him loose. The only thing is because we had to take him to the ground. And if we would have got to the truck, when we were at the door of the truck, we didn't immediately grab onto him and try to yank him. We were like, hey, dude, come out of the truck. And he still didn't come out of the truck. We're the police. You got to listen to us. You know? Tell him to cancel it. Okay. We will SP him and file it at large and see what happens. All right.
Yeah, thanks for all your help.
Thanks. Bye.
So
She said that we don't have PC to search him.
We don't have PC to search somebody that's in a suspicious place at night.
I said suspicious person, suspicious place, and a suspicious time in an area where the MO for the burglars is to use big box trucks to take ATMs and other safes and then go out to these abandoned places. Because what did we just recover the other safes from? From the other ATMs out here. Yeah. Same thing, right? They were in a stolen truck. Told her all of that.
Now, he didn't just go on because he's got Noah. Looking at it, he just looks like he was pushing y'all away. He didn't go.
No, he didn't try to kill us. But he did grab back on. He grabbed onto the wheel.
Okay, is he? All we gotta make sure he's coherent enough to operate. If he is, I mean, he told me I was out, and then we can cover ourselves with that.
And I agree that he was out for about maybe the first minute.
We were out here for a while.
But we were out here for a long time, and the fact that he was coherent enough to dial 911.
And talk to them.
And the 911 operator is telling him, sir, they are the police, you need to get out of the truck. And he's still not. And then I was cool all the way up to the point where we approached the truck and me and King and Kim are standing there in front of him.
What I don't understand is we would be justified to quote unquote shoot the guy, right?
So
if we're going to be justified to do that, then we are in the right place at the right time doing a lawful duty.
Yeah.
How can we not book him?
I'll go with that. As long as you call DA. That's the ones who's going to accept it.
Put it in there like that for me, please.
I will.
Because I don't want this guy coming back and suing anybody.
That's my thing is, what's the rule? They go use of force.
Yeah.
They got to go to jail or the hospital for ED or.
But if you SP him and you still file it, and then it's on them, not on us.
You know what?
So I will leave a copy on your desk and we will file it at large.
Go. You know what we could do, and it's going to be up to the Sarge there. You can go to the judge. You don't have to go to the DA.
The officers found no incriminating evidence in Mr. Castro's vehicle, although Officer Corey did find several manifests that showed Mr. Castro was completing deliveries. After about an hour, Officer Thornton spoke to an assistant district attorney on the telephone. The DA informed Officer Thornton that the officers had lacked probable cause to search Mr. Castro, and that the DA's office would not accept or pursue any charges against him. Officer Thornton then returned to the cruiser to release Mr. Castro.
Come here, sir. You want to go to jail today? Huh? Do you want to go to jail? Or do you want to go about your day in your life?
You're the boss. You're the boss. I can't do nothing, sir. You do whatever what you want. I do my job.
It's not what I want. I'm doing my job. You want to talk about doing jobs? I was doing my job protecting the citizens of San Antonio and their property tonight.
But I'm apologizing for maybe getting nervous a lot, but what I do is my job, deliveries, that's what I do.
And what's my job?
I understand that the other police he say you looking for somebody, but I don't know.
You don't know, right?
No,
you don't know. All you know is that we're the police. And what do you do when the police contact you? Exactly what they say, when they say it, how they say it. Correct? Yes or no?
Yeah, but
no. But it's a yes or no. You're talking yourself into going to jail tonight, sir.
I got scared when somebody got a gun, which like that. You know, it's scary.
So you saw that I had a gun and I was the police?
I saw another side, somebody shooting because they want to shoot.
Nobody shot anything.
No guns were fired out here.
I'm apologizing for that, but I tell you, never police do that. Never.
I really want to take him to jail, Carl.
No, listen, I apologize.
Take him and get the judge to do it.
God bless you because you do your job, buddy. God bless you. God bless you. Okay. Because it's your boss.
And just make sure he knows that my real problem is when that there's 3 policemen at his door, he still won't come out of the damn truck. I don't understand what he didn't understand about that part of it.
You were told what to do before you ever saw a gun. Don't give me that crap, okay? There's a case that's going to be filed on you, most likely. So if I were you, I'd start trying to brush up on your law, because we're also going to contact the DPS about your commercial driver's license. You understand that? There's a chance that your license...
You're held to a higher standard than most people.
You have his license?
Yeah, I got all of this stuff. Come over here, sir.
I don't like this at all.
I don't mean...
Several hours after Mr. Castro was released, he went to the hospital for pain and swelling stemming from the officers' use of force, including swelling, numbness, pain, and visible trauma on his hands from the handcuffs. Mr. Castro has testified that the encounter had caused him to experience mental and emotional distress, nightmares, and physical pain that have affected his professional and personal life. On August 28, 2020, Mr. Castro filed a federal lawsuit against officers Corey, Thornton, Carawalla, and King for claims including excessive force, unreasonable seizure, unreasonable search, failure to intervene, and unreasonably prolonging the search and seizure. The district court granted the officers qualified immunity regarding the initial seizure of Mr. Castro, but denied them qualified immunity for the prolonged arrest, the search of the truck, excessive force, and the failure to intervene. The officers appealed the denial of qualified immunity to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and on April 11, 2024, the Fifth Circuit issued an opinion reversing the denial of qualified immunity for the unlawful prolonged arrest claim, but affirming the other denials of qualified immunity. Particularly, the court held that although the officers had reasonable suspicion to detain Mr. Castro and probable cause to arrest him for a potential violation of the interference statute, the search of the vehicle was not justified under any of the exceptions to the Fourth Amendment's warrant requirement. The court also concluded that the officers were not entitled to qualified immunity for the excessive force claim because, now quoting, "The force used by the officers, particularly pointing a gun at his head, was clearly disproportionate to Castro's resistance, which did not endanger the police." And, now quoting again, "The officers pointed multiple guns throughout the encounter at an unarmed, confused, and only mildly disruptive suspect." After the Fifth Circuit's decision, the case was returned to the district court for further proceedings, and as of the date of writing this episode, it is still pending. Overall, the San Antonio officers get an F for maintaining hostile and disrespectful demeanors throughout the encounter, using excessive and potentially deadly force against an individual who was simply refusing to comply with orders out of fear, and conducting an illegal search of Mr. Castro's vehicle, later attempting to justify it as an inventory search when the vehicle was not impounded and no inventory log of the truck's contents was completed. I am personally not even convinced that the officers had reasonable suspicion to detain Mr. Castro in the first place. But even if they did, their use of force, particularly the pointing of multiple guns at his head, was entirely unreasonable and unjustified by the circumstances. The officers repeatedly spoke to Mr. Castro in a demeaning and contemptuous manner, and were clearly upset that they did not get to take Mr. Castro to jail, even discussing options for attempting to bypass the DA and pursue charges anyway. I applaud the district attorney for refusing to pursue charges against Mr. Castro, and I would hope that the San Antonio PD would learn from their example. Mr. Castro gets a B, because although he was likely legally required to exit the vehicle when the officers ordered him to do so, he did seem to have genuine concerns that the officers were not legitimate, and took appropriate and effective legal action against the officers for their violations of his constitutional rights. There also appeared to be some level of a language barrier at play in this encounter, and it is unclear how well Mr. Castro was able to understand what was going on given his broken English and limited ability to communicate with the officers. However, regardless of any level of culpability that Mr. Castro may have possessed, he clearly did not deserve to be put in fear for his life by having multiple guns pointed at him, and I applaud him for having the tenacity to pursue a lawsuit against the officers for their actions. Let us know if there's an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my second channel for even more police interaction content.